Bonjour, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video. So yeah, this happened. Pokémon ZA. What happened? Pokemon's done it again. Another new shiny game, another new mess. People hoped that after seeing the first look trailers for this game, when it got to the Switch 2, a lot would be improved, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. Pokémon ZA, the spiritual sequel to the famous XY on the Nintendo 3DS. One that people have been waiting for over 10 years. And somehow, despite being on the Switch 2, a new console with 4K 120 FPS, it looks like it was made on a PS3 during a power cut. The whole gimmick about this game was exploring this massive city that you didn't get to fully explore on the 3DS version. If it was really about capturing our hearts and letting us explore the Kalos region and the city, why put minimum effort into the graphics? This was the game that was supposed to finish the construction. It finished it did, but with 2D JPEGs. The buildings look like they've been screenshot from Google Earth, slapped on a wall, and someone forgot to remove the Shutterstock watermark. Now, one of the big selling points for the Nintendo Switch 2 was its updated graphics. I mean, even in this book, it says enhanced frame rate and resolution, and yet the game kind of looks like a PowerPoint. They've gone for this hyper-realistic anime style, which is cool. It's not really my style, but I can still kind of comment on how it's been done, and it's not been done well. See, the characters actually look really, really good. If you compare it to the 3DS versions, where it was very polygonal, they've really improved in it. They've done a really thin black lines for outlines, and it looks good. And then you see them stand behind the background, and wow, the difference is insane. This kind of reminds me of Zelda. See, Zelda's had this mistake before, and they've managed to recover from it. Back in the days with the GameCube and the Wii, Zelda had this hyper-realistic, or trying to be hyper-realistic art style going on. And that could be seen in Twilight and Skyward Sword. And the fans didn't really like it, especially since the hardware on the system was not ready for hyper-realism. So everything other than the characters kind of looked a bit botched. And so Zelda took a big step when it came to the Switch and the Wii U, because they didn't have the necessary hardware still to make very good graphics. So instead, they changed how Zelda's graphics look. They were not stuck in their ways. They were not gonna say, we're not gonna change just because you don't like it, we believe. And a lot of people, it hurts their pride to kind of change their idea. But Zelda did it, and now Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are some of the best artworks in gaming history, and they're some of the best selling games as well. Lighting and ray tracing, everything makes it look like it was on a much better console than it actually was. So my opinion is that I think Pokemon need to change their art style. They can still go for this anime look. I would rather not, but I understand that it makes the most sense, especially basing this entire game series on the actual series. But let's take one little second. Have a look at this. This is cover artwork, or artwork that has come out to promote the game before it released. It looks great. Harsher black outlines, the buildings look great. The Pokemon, the people, the buildings, they don't pop out, stand out of each other. They look like a universal unit. I just said a universal unit. Are you serious? All jokes aside though, I think that would look really good as a game. I've never really played Persona, but I do know that it has a pretty cool art style, a comic art style. Even though there is the ability to make it less comic-y, they stuck with that because we don't have the perfect system for realism yet. So yeah, but I think the main thing it comes down to is laziness. Pokemon games will sell. This is one of the largest gaming franchises ever. People are gonna buy the game. Everyone shitted on Scarlet and Violet because of a lot of the problems it had, but it still sold really well. So I think they're just complacent. As I showed you in that Nintendo Switch 2 book, it literally says that the point of this game is to explore the city. So put effort into those buildings. Not only are these buildings low in quality, but they're boring. Every window is the same. Except for the buildings that you actually interact with, they're lifeless, they're meaningless. Why would I want to explore that? Why put effort into the characters and then leave the buildings? It's like putting Messi on a Sunday league pitch. Instead, it feels like they've got a 4090 PC just to play Tetris. The game itself, the reviews are good when you look at the big places like IGN and all of these other places, but if you look at the comments, people are saying that it's overrated. I don't think it's the worst game ever. They've taken a big jump in completely changing the battle system, which I don't know. I don't think it was the right move. It doesn't make the game seem premium to me. See, one of the first ways I actually got into Pokemon was Pokemon Go. I had played the DS game, but I wasn't very well versed with Pokemon. I've never even beat that Pokemon before. The first Pokemon I ever beat was Arceus. So I'm pretty well versed in Pokemon Go. And if you go to a gym, you spam until you get your abilities. So you can press your abilities, so you just spam tackles and get your abilities. And even when you're doing battles against other trainers, it's kind of the same thing. And Pokemon Go is a free service. So for me personally, it makes the game seem a little bit less premium. And it reminds me of when I talk about FIFA and stuff, where it feels like the tactics in the game is a lot less the central part of the game and more just the menus, and we put less of our mind into the game. It's more just like a in the background thing. And and this Pokemon game kind of feels like that as well to me. I definitely want to try it, and I'm not saying this is my final opinions, but that is how I feel. And it's unfortunate because I really wanted to Switch 2. I would still say I'm decently young. I've just turned 19, but I've been following gaming for a while, but I've never actually followed a console, followed the videos about it, leaks, trailers, watching live streams. I'm such a nerd. I don't know why I'm doing this. I think this is nerd. I think that's what they do, maybe. I'll just put that away. I really wanted something to tell me to buy the Switch 2. I even ignored the price like many others did. I thought Donkey Kong was going to be insane. I was excited for the Mario Kart, which I'm not so excited about anymore. I don't really care. And I was really hoping that this Pokemon game would want me to finally buy it for Christmas or something. But I have no want to. It's been half a year in the Switch cycle, and I don't want to buy it. I think that's really weird for Nintendo, since they're trying to sell their console. The problem with the Wii U in the first place was that they didn't have enough games to sell the console initially. And even though they eventually got good games, it's the initial sales that affected everything else. And putting not a lot of work, especially into one of your own titles, it's a bit odd to me. But that's all for this video. I've not had a video in a while. A lot has gone on. I nearly became ginger, so then I had to dye my hair light brown. I've moved into a uni room. I broke my glasses. I'll see you all later, famalam.